Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar, Arecont Vision Acquisition, Contera Cameras, VMS, and Cloud Solutions, where you can actually realize recurring revenue. Today we have with us Mitch Fagundes and Brad Donaldson from Arecont Vision. Mitch Fagundes is Vice President of Global Strategic Accounts and joined Arecont Vision as Regional Sales Manager in 2011 and later was promoted to Director of Business Development. Mitch holds a bachelor's degree of science in business with an entrepreneurship focus from California State University, Fresno. Brad Donaldson is the Vice President of Product Development for Arecont Vision. Mr. Donaldson provides strategic leadership of all Arecont Vision product management, quality assurance, engineering, and software development. Brad also joined Arecont Vision in 2012. Prior, his career took him from the United States Navy to engineering management positions and on to other high-level technology management roles. Brad holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Mechanical Engineering from Oregon State University. In today's webinar, Mitch and Brad will discuss the recent acquisition of Arecont Vision by Costar and their plans moving forward. With that, the new Cantara line of products will be at the top of the list, where they're going to show real-world examples of how to show customers value around hybrid cloud solutions, where you can actually realize recurring revenue with a product that makes sense to the end user. My name is Julie Rolls. I am the training manager with PSA, and I will be moderating today's call. I have just a few quick housekeeping items before I hand it over to Mitch and Brad. First, if you've not already done so, please mute yourself. If you happen to have any questions throughout the course of this presentation, please type them into the question panel, and we will have time for Q&A at the end of this presentation. I will also be monitoring chat should you run into any difficulties, and I will do my best to get you back up and running. With that, I'm going to hand it over to Mitch and Brad. Gentlemen?
Thanks, Julie. So we appreciate you guys letting us come on. There's been quite a bit of buzz around Arecont Vision over the past couple of months, and for some of you, you may be on top of all the changes, and for some of you, you might have been busy, and this will be the first that you hear about it. So we really wanted to take this opportunity to explain where we're going moving forward, talk a little bit about Costar and some of the things that are going on, and then of course talk about the new products that we just started to introduce in the first half of this year. So Arecont Vision, of course, founded in 2003. We've only done megapixel cameras in our career in the industry here. One of the big things that we decided to do this year is we voluntarily went into Chapter 11 to get out from under some obligations that our previous ownership had put the company under, and with that, we have emerged as a stronger and better company. With that, Costar Technologies has acquired Arecont Vision, and of course, we're going to talk about the Cantera line as we move forward. So some of the things about Costar and what they plan to do with us and how we plan to move forward together. The really nice part about Arecont Vision, the entire executive team came over. Costar has taken on all of sales, operations, management, development, and support. We have the same great product lines. Nothing has changed there. So we have the megapixel IP line, which you're familiar with. We've been selling for many years. We also have the Cantera line, which I said we introduced this year. It has the latest generation of processors available. It has the latest generation of sensors available, and the performance from the Cantera cameras is fantastic. And then, of course, all the same partnerships that you guys have been used to in the field, whether it's your regional sales managers, whether it's someone on the field application engineering team, or whether it's somebody on the inside sales team. Nothing's changing on that side of it. We're still in the same building, and everything in that respect is moving forward. So a little bit about Costar. Costar Technologies is the parent company. With that, Costar owns Costar Video Systems. They own Kohu HD, which they acquired in 2014, and Arecont Vision, which we just finished the acquisition on July the 14th, and then Initech. And one of the really nice things about Costar is with Cohu, the idea is not to come in and make huge sweeping changes to companies. Their goal is to come in and help provide us the resources that we need to provide the best customer service and the best products to our customers. And it's a perfect example of that with Cohu HD. Since acquisition in 2014, Cohu has come out with better products, better service, and is still pushing out great support to the industry. So as a small company overview, Costar is in the top 25 companies according to the A&S magazine. CSTI, it's a publicly traded company, and there's a lot of synergies that exist between the three companies. Cohu HD is more into perimeter protection and traffic and transportation. Initech and Costar Video have been very strong in retail, banking, and some other spaces. We can get into that a little bit more later. And Arecont Vision, I think, kind of fits in between, where we've been very strong in the higher end or the IT side of the market, definitely banking and places like that. So definitely a good integration, definitely a very good synergy between all the companies, and there isn't very much overlap, if any, between any of the brands. Costar Video is headquartered in Coppell, Texas. They have a large facility there. Cohu HD is in San Diego, California. And Initech is in Pompano Beach, Florida. And then, of course, Arecont Vision is staying here in Glendale, California. So we talked a little bit about this. I think Costar, strong in the retail, financial, and then Cohu, transportation and defense. And the companies are going to fit very well together. Rankings right now for Costar Technologies, which is the parent company and publicly traded, is 41 in the industry. A couple of things that are really interesting is Arecont Vision has had some great customers over the past few years, some major brands, and Costar Video Systems has also had some fantastic marquee customers. And one of the things you're going to see is there isn't a lot of overlap between the companies. And I think this is a really great thing, which is going to help all of the companies together provide better support, better products, and better service to the market. So an overview of Costar. CSTI with its brands before acquisition of Arecont Vision was about a $44 million company in 2017. They've got a proven management team, multiple offices that we talked about, some very big name customers who have been very happy with their service and support over the years. And then with Arecont Vision, we're around a similar size company at 40 million in 2017. We have a huge group of partner relationships, and we also have some very big customers that have been very happy with our service over the years too. So the rationale behind the acquisition of Arecont Vision is it's going to increase the brand recognition for all the companies, right? Arecont is going to be about 50% of the business. The two companies together, again, we're going to share resources, but at the same time, the goal is to help Arecont Vision grow. And we've already gone into planning to increase the size of the engineering team. We're increasing the size of the sales and support team. And we're really going after this with customer service in mind. We've got some great products that we're just releasing at the beginning of this year in the Cantera line. That's the beginning. And then with this acquisition, I think you guys are going to see a huge difference on just the day-to-day support side. whether it's calling, getting that quick question you need answered, or if something comes up in the cameras, being able to call and talk to a person in a very short amount of time to get that question answered on the technical side. And that's where we really want to go. We want to be a leader in not just the technology space, but we also want to be a leader in the pre, mid, and post-sales support side of the business. And I think with the leadership, and I think with the support that Costar is going to give us, we all have that same vision in mind, and that's the direction we're going. And I'm really excited about some of the stuff we've been talking about just in the past 3 weeks after the acquisition. It's really been fantastic. So that was a quick overview about the Costar acquisition, about some of the rationale behind it, and where we'd really like to go with the company. Of course, we'll be available for some questions afterwards, but now I'm going to hand it over to Brad Donaldson, who, as you guys heard, is in charge of all of our product development. Any new products that come out, any changes that we make to products, it all goes through Brad's team. So he's here, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Cantara VMS, which is a big new offering for us. And I think we have some really cool and very unique features in this product line that you guys are going to be really excited about. Brad?
All right, thanks, Mitch. All right, so we did release a VMS earlier this year. We have traditionally been a camera company, but we felt it was time to offer a full solution to our customers. And with this solution, with the Cantara VMS and the Cantara Web Services, we really have this great, fully featured video management system now that allows you to take advantage of the cloud in a way that we think makes sense. So we didn't want to push everything to the cloud because that is not very practical in this day and age. We wanted to focus on using the cloud where it made sense, but we wanted to keep recording local, and we wanted to use the cloud to manage the system and to export video and allow our customers remote access to all of their customers and to all of their sites. So with the Cantara VMS combined with the Cantara Web Services, which is the cloud offering, you get the benefits of recording locally, and you avoid the problems with a cloud-based recording solution, such as caps on your resolution, caps on your bandwidth, because it's expensive to store video in the cloud. With our solution, you can still record locally, but now you have the ability to tap in to your recorders and your account through a lightweight, secure connection to the cloud. And within the web services, you can manage all of your permissions, and you can export clips and even set up a recurring revenue model for your business. So again, local recording, the cloud or the web services is used to manage profiles and manage the recorders with remote access, so from anywhere, from any browser. And of course, we have a full suite of apps, iOS and Android for your mobile phone or your tablet. We also have a thin client and a thick client for managing your video. The thin client is a browser-based utility that is accessed through the Cantara Web Services. Can be accessed from any browser, from anywhere, as long as you have a connection to the internet. The thin client is where you're going to manage. Must be set on the timer. Sorry about that. Is where you're going to manage your permissions. It's where you're going to manage your recorders. It's where you're going to manage all of your end user accounts. It's where you can export and store important video clips. It's where you can create rules and alerts. So it's really where you manage your entire system, and you manage all of your customers. The Fit client is a more of a traditional VMS interface where you can view recorded video, view live video, have several different layouts, and through the web services you can even manage all of your accounts on the left-hand side there. So each one of those locations on the tree there would be one of your accounts or one of your locations, and it can be set up that way to view multiple different locations on the same monitor. All of that functionality is also available through the Thin client in the web services as well. All right, moving on then to the mobile app. So we do have a mobile app that is available, Cantera Mobile, on the iOS and Android stores. With the Cantera mobile app, you'll be able to view all of your locations. You'll be able to view live video and view recorded video and export video to your web services account. One of the great features about the VMS and the web services system that we've created is the benefits of cybersecurity. So through the web services, which creates a lightweight connection to the cloud that is secure and authenticated in the cloud, now you don't have to have any open ports on your network. So makes for a much more secure installation. And yes, you could choose to not use the web services and just operate as a traditional VMS locally with no connection to the internet. But the real benefit to this system is the web services. So we've made it as secure as possible. So there are no open ports on the network required, no DNS.
Ransomware and other online threats. Plus, if you have a problem, our agents will work to fix it. No one can stop every cyber threat, prevent all identity theft, or monitor all transactions at all businesses. But missing a warning sign, warning, minefield ahead, could be dangerous. Join now and get 10% off.
I apologize, guys, for the interruption here.
Card with annual enrollment. Just go to lifelock.com and enter promo code LifeLock. Terms apply. New LifeLock with Norton. More detection, more protection.
Download the free Drive mobile app at the iTunes Store or Play Store on your Android and type in WPRP.
Can I get somebody to mute?
You'll be able to listen to the Drive.
Julie, can you mute everybody? Is that possible
I have
on your side?
muted everybody who is on here, Mitch and Brad. So this is somebody who's called in apparently, and I have no control over it.
Chicago's classic rock.
Well, guys, we're
overnight chance of rain later this afternoon and tonight. Weather powered by GNC.
Okay.
Buy one, get one half off.
We're going to try and talk over it. We apologize for the interruption, guys.
Proteins, collagen, force factor, slim bands, and GNC amp. Buy one, get one
Okay.
half off. Shop online.
So again, one of the main benefits to this system is the cybersecurity with the no open ports on your network, multi-factor authentication. So similar to what you would use to log in to your bank, you have a text message that you would get that gives you a code that would authenticate your login to the web service. So
Come in and see what all the singing's about.
So again, from a cybersecurity standpoint, I think we'll appreciate what we've done here. You're not going to have any challenges with allowing access into the network through the web services.
Okay, so what I wanted to do real quick here is we just talked a little bit about the web services. Brad went into a couple of really cool details, but I'm going to take this opportunity to kind of quickly show you guys a real world example of how the Cantera VMS works. And I'll tell you the really cool part about this, and especially being on the install side, how many times have you guys gone into a small or medium-sized installation where you have to deal with the customer's router, maybe they're getting internet from Comcast, of course they want remote access to the system. The really, really cool thing deep down about the Cantera VMS with web services is that it is almost zero configuration. As long as that box has access to the internet, you're not messing around in their router, you're not worried about these open ports, you're not worried about having something with open access to the internet that is vulnerable out there. And guys, in our day and age, cybersecurity is a huge thing. I mean, I can't tell you how many times a week I hear about someone who's gotten that notice on their video management server that says all of your files have been encrypted, right? Please pay somebody a Bitcoin so that you can get it unencrypted. You know, it happens to people all the time, whether it's Windows updates that didn't happen, whether it's a security flaw in some of the products, or whether, you know, there was an open port to the internet that someone was able to exploit. So I'm going to switch over here to my web browser. You guys will have to excuse the mess in my home, but I'm going to log into my system at home. To set this up at my house, all I did was give my server access to the internet. It automatically recognizes our cameras on the network, makes it very easy for you to just click and add all those cameras into the recorder, and this is all coming across my web browser right now. From here, one of the other really powerful pieces that Brad touched on a little bit was the management side through the cloud. How many times do you guys have a server that's connected to the internet, but then you have a separate network on the other side of that server that all of your cameras are connected to? If you want to make minor changes to those cameras, you used to either have to remote into that server, then do it from the server, which required open ports, or you would have to send somebody on site to make adjustments to that camera. The great thing about the Cantera Web Services is it makes that connection for you. So if I go into the setup right here, I can pick any one of these cameras. We'll go with this one here in my garage, one of our new Contera micro bullets. And from here, if you notice, this is the internal IP address on my network. When I click on it, it creates a forward to that camera through the server. And it does it in a secure way so that now I have access to that camera without having to have open ports or having to remote into that server. And now from here, if I wanted to, I could make any changes I need to that camera, right? If I wanted to brighten it up, I could easily do that. Or if I needed to darken it, I could easily do that. Easily make those changes, and all through the cloud services.
And then combine that with maybe one of our new remote setup cameras, and you can even change the field of view or pan, tilt, zoom.
Reposition
remotely,
the camera.
Yeah.
Exactly. So one of the things we're trying to do, guys, and this is with our new products and especially with the acquisition, is we want that install to be easier. We want you guys to be able to do everything that you need to do sometimes before you know you need to do it, right? We want you to be able to do it all in a very cost-effective way. And I think the Cantera cameras with the new sensors, they can do wide dynamic range up to 120 dB. They also have extreme low light sensitivity, and you can do both of those things on up to a 5 megapixel sensor. They really produce some fantastic pictures, and they really perform well. So I think that was just a real quick example of what the server can do. You can export to the cloud if need be. Of course, you can search. The live video is a given. And then also having the thick client, the mobile clients, definitely a big advantage, and definitely something that can reduce the amount of time that you guys have to spend in the field. So with that, our new Cantera system on our website now, you can't have a video management system without having a good calculator to help you guys decide how much storage you need. So we have added that to our website. Very easy to use. You can select any of the cameras that you want, put those in, and decide which size recorder you need. And some of the nice things about the Cantera video system, not only do we offer it in software only, We also have hardware and also some appliances. And the appliances have built-in network ports that provide PoE to the cameras right out of the box as well. So we can really reduce the number of parts you need and help keep those costs in line with what your customers expect. So moving forward, we're going to have the Cantera IP solution, which is going to be the cameras. We've got the Contera, the cloud managed network recorder series. We've got the VMS, which is the video management side of it, the software only. And then, of course, we still offer the Mega line of IP cameras, and you will see the Mega line being upgraded as we move forward too, moving in line with all the features and things that you're seeing out of Contera. So I'll open it up to questions, and let me know what you guys.
I had a couple of them come in, guys. The first one, you were talking a little bit at the beginning about some of the changes with Costar. Can you expand a little bit more of what I think integrators are going to see with changes with this acquisition from Costar?
Absolutely. Great question. So I think on a company side and a support side, or let's say on a sales side, you're not going to see any changes. Costar doesn't plan to come in and chop things up. What they do plan to do is they plan to come in and give us the tools we need to provide better support on the back end to our customers. We're getting more people on the support side. We're going to be filling some holes in the sales map, but I think the biggest piece is engineering and support, right? You guys need new products. You need products that are at the edge of what's available to provide the best picture possible, the best integration possible, and the least amount of headaches possible during an install. And the engineering team is focusing on that. And we're increasing the size of the engineering team by 50%. The other thing is, I think on the support side and on the inside sales side, we're also increasing the team there, getting more people available. The goal is to have no one on hold ever when they call the company, right? So that's the goal. That's where we want to go, and that's the direction that Costar is helping us go, and those are the changes that we're looking at.
That's really good news. I know that you had mentioned a little bit about the cybersecurity aspect. Can you expand a little bit more about what cybersecurity is provided by Arecont Vision and the Cantera web services?
Sure. So, in my opinion, Arecont Vision has, in our Mega line, one of the most security cameras in the market. Without going into too much detail, the Mega line of cameras is developed on a platform that does not have an operating system. Other cameras in the industry that are competitive to the Mega line, which is most cameras in the industry, use a system on a chip that has a Linux operating system. And Linux is susceptible to being hacked and repurposed and doing malicious things on a network. So if you're a bank or a retailer that has sensitive data, that can be exposed, as you've seen in recent years with some large companies. With the Mega line of cameras, that's impossible to do because there is no operating system. You can't put any code on the cameras that can do that. And then to complement that with the Cantera web services, and the Cantera VMS, with the ability to have multi-factor authentication with secure SSL connections to the cloud, with not having to expose your network. We think we've created a solution that is the most secure in the industry. The Cantera line of cameras, while they do have an operating system, have all the necessary network security protocols. So with this combination of products, I think what we've created is the best chance you have against the hackers out there. and especially, and I want to highlight this, especially with the mega line of cameras, which again do not have an operating system to be hacked.
No, very good.
Wow, that's good stuff. Okay, so last question that I have here is, I know you were mentioning a little bit about the cloud storage, and this question was, is video stored all in the cloud with the Contera web services? I think you talked a little bit about it. If you could expand.
Right. So the answer to that is no. So one of the benefits to this system is that you do record locally. The web services and the cloud aspect of this is used to manage the system. Now you can store some video in the cloud. So with every account, you do get an allotted amount of storage for storing critical video clips, and that can be upgraded. And what you can do is you push these important video clips to the cloud and then share them through the cloud. So if somebody calls you up and says, hey, you know, something happened last night, can you check around this time? You, as the manager of this system, can log in, view the video, export a clip to the cloud, and automatically just email it to that person right there. So within the amount of time it takes you to search the video and find it, you can share it. And that's always been a pain point for our partners. So what we've tried to do is use the cloud in the best way possible and avoid the pitfalls of the cloud, which is storing all of your video in the cloud.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, Julie, I think that that's a really good point, and how I think that this differentiates a little bit in the fact of how do we actually realize some recurring revenue. Because I think in our industry, that's something that's been difficult to realize, right? One of the things is you get a lot of people that have to ask, why am I paying this much money per month or per year to have this thing? If I don't need new features, if the system's just working, why should I pay anything on the recurring revenue side? And I think that's where this starts to cross over, in the fact that not only on the integration side is it much easier to manage. Let's say you have 100 small customers out there. You have a channel partner account in the cloud where you can see all of those 100 customers, and if they allow you remote access to the system, like I just did to my house, you, as the integrator, can get in there and manage all those systems. That's a big piece. You know, that customer is going to get the service they need right away, and most of the time you don't have to roll a truck. So that's worth a little something. The other piece is that storage in the cloud for those clips, making it extremely easy to share that clip. Maybe you need to share it with the police. Maybe you have to share it with an insurance company. Maybe you just need to share it with a person. Or maybe as an integrator, and we know this happens every now and then, but you get a video system installed and the end user doesn't really know how to use it, right? But then something happens. The car was broken into, the building was broken into, something was stolen, and they need that video. You can go in and provide that service to them. One, they can store that video clip, which they might not ever want to get rid of, in the cloud, which is going to be a backed up, secure location. So they never have to worry about a hard drive failing and they've lost all their video clips that were important to them, right? The most important thing they've done in the video system, which is pull those clips off and save them. If you lose a hard drive or you lose a RAID array, you've lost all those clips. With them in the cloud, you know, it's as secure and reliable as Amazon, right? They're the ones providing the cloud services right now, and they do an extremely good job. And that's the thing. Once it's up in the cloud, you don't have to worry about a bad hard drive or an equipment failure, which is going to make you lose that content. So those are just a couple of the things. We didn't really get into the health monitoring, but I think that would be good for a different discussion. But there's definitely some things out there that are actually providing value that you can explain to your end user and show them that it is something that they'd like to continue on the cloud services side, and it is worth a certain amount of money per year to do that.
Great. I did have a couple more questions that have come in. One is, do you have a comparison sheet between the Contera and megapixel cameras?
That's actually an interesting idea. We don't have like a one-pager that would compare the two. There are data sheets up and available. Yeah, that's actually a good idea. Maybe we'll have to do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then another question is, will there be any changes to Arecont support and or firmware upgrades?
I think we're yes and yes. Some of the things that we're taking a really hard look at right now is the tools that we use to do those firmware upgrades. A couple of the major changes that Brad's team has made just in the last 6 months is our cameras used to have 2 different types of what you would call firmware files. They were soft code. One of them we used to call a hardware update because it would actually make changes to the FPGA, the processor inside the camera, and then the other one was the firmware that would go on top of that. So one of the big changes that Brad's team has made recently is we've moved to a combined update to make that easier. So now if we have an update that happens to both of those pieces of code, we've come out with a new tool that allows us to package that into one file to make that process easier and faster. And I can tell you a lot of discussions that we're having internally between the sales and the engineering and product management team is how can we make that even easier and faster for the customer. So I think we've already made a couple of steps in the right direction with the combined update files. I think you're going to see a lot of improvements in the next 6 to 12 months with the actual software tools that you download from our website to use so that it presents things in a much easier and much more manageable way. And then on the support side, we've already gotten approvals to add people to the support side. We've already started to talk about how we're going to create some feedback loops between support and QA so that we can get things answered much faster for the customer and then feed that information a lot quicker back into the engineering team so that if a customer or multiple customers have a pain point somewhere in the cameras, we're going to get that fixed, we're going to get that improved, and we're going to push that up to new cameras. I think those are going to be big for everybody that's on the phone here because you don't want to ever revisit a camera. So the more things that we can get fixed before that camera goes out the door, and then the faster we can answer those questions that come in is going to be really important. You know, I've personally been on a ladder with some of my integrators because they teach me things all the time, and there's nothing worse than being on top of a ladder and needing a question answered and listening to hold music. And I think adding people to the support team, the goal is to get rid of the hold music, right?
Boy, isn't that the truth? And just to everybody who's on this call live, I wanted to point out that Kyle posted in the chat panel the landing page that will compare the features across the Cantera line. And that did look like that was all the questions today. I want to thank Mitch and Brad for such an informative presentation and an update on Arecont Vision. If anyone would like to review this presentation again or pass it along, the recording will be posted soon. You can find that by visiting psaeducation.com. Once again, thanks to Mitch and Brad. Their contact information is posted here if you happen to have any more questions after today's presentation. Please visit our website, that's psaeducation.com, to be sure that you're leveraging all that PSA has to offer. On our education page, you can access our future webinar events, this recording, educational offerings, and our business solutions. This will conclude today's presentation. Thank you, everybody. I hope you all have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Julie.